Checking out some new tools from Multitasker today. I always like getting new tools, and especially tools that I really feel like I could use on the range, and I thought it'd be kind of cool to share some of the features with you. Now, Multitasker did send these to me, and for those of you guys not familiar with Multitasker, my first exposure to them was with their this tool, and I always call it the Mr. Twister, but that's not the real name. I think, shoot, what is it? It's called the Twist, just simply the Twist. But this was a cool tool that I kind of came across them back in the day. It has a pick, punch, all sorts of different tools that you can, basically have here. But what I used, one of these for back in the day the most was on the other side was a traditional front sight tool for old school front sight posts on ARs. But now nobody's really using front sight posts anymore. But I used one of these a lot. When I worked for an agency, we had to zero guns and stuff. But anyways, this is what we're talking about today. We're talking about their new M4 tool, and this one also comes with this pad here. We'll talk about that here in a sec. And then I also have this guy. I'll have to zoom in because this one's much smaller. This is the NANO 2, and it's tough. I mean, look at how small it is. There's a Glock base pad to compare for size. This thing is tiny. Let's go through the NANO 2 first, and that is this little guy, and it comes with a base pad. Now, I think the base pad is cool, and I like that idea that basically you would take off a Glock base pad, you would put this base pad on, and then you could store the tool. I personally am never going to do that. I don't always keep track of certain mags. I go through a lot of mags, and I would be worried about this falling off after like some good serious use or dropping it or whatever it might be. So that's just kind of my personal thought, but I like the idea. I think it's kind of neat to have it with you on the gun, okay? That's what this base pad is designed to do. It's designed to replace an OEM Glock pad, and then you can store the tool right on the base pad, and it just basically, kind of slides in and clicks in place like so. And this is the updated version, so it's pretty robust, but I'll be upfront with you, I'm probably not going to test this just because I'm not going to use it. How I'm going to use it is I'm going to take advantage of this little hole right here, and I'm going to put a piece of paracord, and I'm going to basically use it as a little lanyard loop and keep this with me in my range bag. Might even attach it to my belt, my training belt, just so I always have a sight tool with me, because this tool can do a lot of stuff, and that's what I liked about it. Now they're saying it's compatible with all sorts of different Handgun Red Dots, so I got a few laying around the shop today, so all these are unloaded and clear for all the internet range safety officers. One of my big annoyances with all the different Handgun Red Dots on the market is the zero screws on them are all different. So Trijicon's, for example, is a straight screw, but it has kind of a radius in it. Yeah, it does work with the Trijicon. I mean, the bit is obviously pretty small compared to the slot, so there is a little bit of slop there, but I'm able to make adjustments just fine on the Trijicon, so that's cool. Now, what about the RMR? Is obviously the same as the SRO, so no issues with the RMR. As far as the Leupold, the Delta Point screws are similar. They're radius, but they are also a straight screw, and again, works just fine with the Leupold, so that's cool. Now, what about Holosun? Holosun uses straight screws as well, but they are really narrow and little, and fits great. Yeah, it adjusts the Holosun just fine. So this little screw fits the Holosun screws just fine. So pretty much no matter what you got for zeroing, that's pretty cool with this guy. Opposite the straight blade, there is a little Torx bit on the other side, and this works great for the Acro or the new Aimpoint rifle optic that uses Torx. I believe it is a T10, so that's great options there. The hole in this is used for attaching a lanyard like your paracord or whatever it might be. But then we also do have these edges here on the side, which can be used as basically a coin replacement. Because let's be honest, nobody carries coins anymore. And one of my biggest frustrations with weapon mounted lights is coin slots, because nobody carries a stupid coin anymore. This is the Streamlight TLR1, and as you can see, it uses the coin slot, and again, nobody carries coins. It's just dumb. I can use the flat edge, and I can use that to go ahead and tighten and loosen the coin slot on like a TLR light, which is cool. But what about a Surefire, because the Surefire, and this is the type B, which is what I prefer. You can also use a coin or a flathead, but this edge here does engage really nicely with the Surefire slot as well. So I can use that to tighten a loose weapon mounted light if I was on the range as well. So definitely a handy little handgun tool for lights and sights. I will be hanging on to this in my range bag. Now, but what about rifles? We have the M4 tool, and at a quick glance, it kind of looks like a mini armorer's wrench in a way. But here's what's cool, just to give you an idea of the size, is you can see in my hand, it is pretty tiny. Now, it comes with this butt plate, and the tool actually goes right inside the butt plate. Now, you might be asking yourself, what is the butt plate for? It is for a B5 stock. So the butt plate just kind of snaps in to here, like so, and then it goes right on the back of the B5 stock. And it's a nice rubberized pad. It actually feels good. It's easy to remove. We just simply pinch these tabs, and then the tool is exposed, and obviously this will just go on your rifle. So I don't run B5s on every one of my rifles, but the nice thing is stocks are easy to swap out. Now, this tool here, it can do a lot. Now, I've had a couple of people who've played around with it say, well, but Dave, it's kind of hard to get out of the little pad here. So all you got to do is kind of bend it up a little bit, and that'll cause the tool to lift, and you could simply return it. Or if you're having issues with that, you could simply turn it over and kind of give it a tap into your palm, and that will remove it. It comes out just fine. But for whatever reason, a couple of people have noticed it. Let's talk about what this thing does. Right off the bat, we do have a 2-lug castle nut wrench, which is great if in a receiver extension or castle nut were to loosen on the range. Having this just handy, being able to snug that back up. Now, is it a replacement for a full armorer's wrench? No, but it's going to work great at the range. We do have holes if you wanted to use it for a lanyard. We do have a flathead screwdriver, so obviously there's a wide variety of situations where you might want to use a flathead screwdriver for whether it be zeroing red dots, tightening certain fasteners, whatever it might be. So the flathead screwdriver works for a variety of stuff there, no problem. 1/2-inch wrench is built in for a lot of optic mounts that use a 1/2-inch nut. And then last but certainly not least, we do have a bolt override tool which we could use. Now I'm kind of simulating a malfunction, whether that be a brass over bolt or a bolt override, whatever you want to call it. But oftentimes, this could be a really big failure, basically to the point requiring most people to have to transition because a lot of people don't train with this. But this tool could be really handy to come in and use the hook to engage the carrier to pull the carrier back, allowing you to then lock the bolt back to the rear, push the charging handle forward to clear that brass over bolt stoppage. So this does have a lot of potential, I think, to be a game changer. Now, I don't know if they're going to have future plans for different like butt pads and stuff. I don't think so, because quite frankly, there's not a whole lot of butt pads that offer the quick detach capability like the B5 does. But I could definitely see using this. I'm going to hang on to this with this stock. Well, actually, I'll just swap it out right now because it's so easy. And the B5 is just a good stock anyway. But yeah. Done. There we go. So, well, that feels good. There we go. So now I've got a new stock on my rifle with that tool, and this will probably be more of a staple in my kit, especially as I travel, because just having that tool on my primary rifle right here is just a nice little enhancement. Pricing and availability, they are going to be available very shortly, if not when you are watching this video. I'm going to put a link in the description to an article on our webpage. That'll have a variety of direct links where you can purchase these items. The M4 tool is going to be available for $30 and comes in 3 different colors. The Nano 2 is going to be available for $20, and it comes in any color you want as long as it's black. Oh, see, and this is why you need a lanyard on it. I lost it. It was so small. Oh my goodness. I'm just opening the door for jokes. But this is why you need some paracord to make a little lanyard. All right, then I'll melt the ends. But this will be basically now a staple on my training belt. I'm going to put it on my ear pro loop. And then this is always going to be a part of my training belt. So I always have a quick tool to adjust Handgun Red Dot optics. So that's going to be pretty awesome to have. So what do you guys think? Are you guys going to use tools like this? Would you be wanting to have this on your belt, on your range bag, on your rifle, whatever? Leave a comment. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. If you guys have a question about this or anything firearms or tools related, best thing is to send us an email. And at the end of the month, we have our new live show now called the QA, where I answer your questions, plus we give away some prizes. That's the last Monday of every month. You can follow us on Facebook and stuff to see like the event, things like that, or the YouTube community tab. But last Monday of every month, and it's live here on YouTube. So that's the email address shown below, the QA at gunsandtactics.com. If you guys like the content, like, share, subscribe. If you want to support us, Patreon is awesome. It helps us keep the lights on, buy hard drives, memory cards, all that other stuff, web hosting. That's really is appreciated for the few of you guys that do support us via Patreon. Thank you guys very much for watching. I do have some more videos upcoming on tools, so hopefully you will stay tuned for that. Have a great day.